Why it's hard to declutter our clothes, part 2. Another reason is the sentimental value of them. So let's just say that you bought a bunch of resort wear and you took a dream vacation of a lifetime to someplace tropical like Hawaii or the Bahamas or whatever. You had the time of your life, you came back, you put those clothes in your closet and you haven't worn them since. And every time you go to declutter your clothing, you hold on to every single piece of that resort wear because of the attachments, those memories that you have with each piece of clothing. So with that, I have several questions for you. 1, are you able to wear the resort wear in your everyday life where you currently live? Number 2, if you are unable to wear that resort wear where you live, are you planning on another trip to a tropical location? If you're not, so that means you can't wear the clothing where you currently live, and number 2, you're not planning on going anywhere, give yourself permission to rethink holding on to those sentimental items. If they're in great shape, you can sell them and give them a new life and new memories with someone else who is planning on going to a fabulous resort. Another reason why we have a hard time getting rid of clothing is because we have a fantasy version of ourselves that we're hoping to fulfill one day. So let's just say your fantasy self plays tennis several times a week. So you have like 5 to 10 tennis outfits, but you never ever play tennis. So this is a reality check. Look at all of those fantasy pieces of clothing that you have that, well, if this were to happen in my life, then I would be able to wear all of these things. Give yourself a reality check. Are you actually going to do that? If so, plan a trip to the tennis court or plan to actually do that fantasy self activity and see what it feels like. Then you're gonna be much more clear and able to make a decision if you wanna keep those clothing pieces or get rid of them. So how do you start to get rid of all of these pieces of clothing? The first thing is I recommend that you don't wash your clothes for 2 weeks. Now hear me out. We typically grab our most favorite items every single day. But if your favorite items are dirty, then you go to your next favorite and then your next favorite and then your next favorite. So after 2 weeks, you've literally worn 2 weeks of your favorite pieces of clothing. Everything else is not your favorite. That's where you start. Take everything else after you haven't washed clothes for 2 weeks. Try everything on. If it fits and you want to keep it, keep it. Everything else, out.